Hey everybody, here we are for another installment of Captain Handsome's Picks. Obviously, we had a phenomenal Thanksgiving Day. We were 2-0 with both of our bets. We were up 4.49 units. If you follow me on Twitter, you were up an additional 2.7 units because right as soon as the Lions scored, I advocated for a 2-unit bet on the Houston Texans money line, which paid 1.385 to 1, and obviously they won. So that 2-unit bet would pay out another 2.7. But again, we don't count those for the purpose of this record. So the year to date, we are sitting at plus back in the black. So this episode is sponsored by ACDC. Yes, I'm that clever. We're up 2.02 units on the year. I have 4 plays this week, one of which I got at a much better number, but I also had less information, and I love it just as much at this number. So without further ado, we'll go into it. The first game that I really like is Arizona -2 at New England. I think the Cardinals are a much better team than New England. I think home field advantage, we all know, has little to no value this year. So at this point, I think maybe you're getting 1 point out of home field advantage. And if you're going to tell me that Arizona's only 3 points better than New England, I'm going to laugh at you. New England's defense has not been spectacular this year. It's supposed to be their strength, but it hasn't been. Their offense has also been inept. People are going to look at that Baltimore game and think that New England's better, but I think it was more a commentary on Baltimore being figured out and, being outcoached by the greatest coach of all time. Not that I don't think Belichick can't outcoach Kingsbury, but I think that Arizona is incredibly talented. They're running on more cylinders. I understand they're coming off a loss, which is tough because they want to be able to win that division. It's probably going to be tough for them. They're sort of a year ahead of schedule where they probably thought they were going to be, but they're good. Kyler's great. Nuke is great. Their offense is a pretty well-oiled machine. They score really, really well. Their defense looks like it's getting better. Isaiah Simmons seems like he's doing more of the right things. I can't see any way that they don't win this game, and they don't win it pretty handily. I think it could be more high scoring than normal if Cam Newton can get his shit together. But that's a lot to ask out of Cam, to be honest with you. So I love Arizona -2. I'm playing that for 2 units. The next game is the New York Jets -6 at Cincinnati. And you're probably saying to me, you're insane to give 6 points to the New York Giants. And the truth is, I feel crazy doing it, but Cincinnati's going to be really bad without Burrow. Cincinnati is going to be atrocious without Burrow. I think that the line makers haven't really figured out just how much worse they're going to be without Burrow. They're also missing Mixon, and Gio's banged up. Looks like he's going to go, but he's banged up as well. What are you going to do with that? You're running with, your second and a half running back. You're running, your superstar young quarterback is out. I think they've got to feel deflated. I think that this is the point where a lot of the team is going to give up. The Giants, on the other hand, have been doing things better. Their offensive line seems considerably better. Daniel Jones seems to be making better plays, doing better things, not making as many mistakes as he had been. Defensively, they've been much, much better. The front seven's been pretty solid, to be honest. They still have some areas in the secondary where they have concern, but I'm less worried about that when Joe Burrow's not the quarterback for Cincinnati. Here's the deal. Cincinnati was already not a great team. They're going to be really bad now. And Adam Corbett, you shouldn't take them this week in your pool if you're only getting 6 points, because they're going to get blown out pretty bad. I would advocate a New York Giants -9.5 play as well. I didn't check what the number is on that, but I'm assuming you're probably going to get 1.45, 1.5, somewhere around there. And I think there's a crap ton of value in that. So I might even look at that myself. But my play is Giants -6 for 2 units. I also like Pittsburgh -7 for 1 unit. This would be a much higher unit play if I didn't already get them at -4. I liked them right off the hop. They're the home team, and I know that home doesn't mean that much, but it's worth a point or two, like I said. And I mean, Baltimore's just in shambles. I mean, with no Lamar, I mean, it looks like they're going to be forced to play this game on Tuesday. I know the Steelers are losing some guys too, but if Lamar Jackson isn't playing, I think that Baltimore is pretty much toast. I mean, they're losing a ton of guys, so if they're being forced to play on Tuesday, they're in trouble. I'm only willing to play 1 unit on this game because I think that there's way too many questions with all the COVID issues. But Pittsburgh is clearly a much better team. Lamar Jackson won't be playing for sure if this game is played on Tuesday, so I think you got to expect. I mean, that Pittsburgh D is just solid. They can afford to lose a couple guys to COVID because they have this incredible next man up kind of mentality. So I don't think Baltimore without Lamar Jackson is going to be able to score. They've already got no passing game, and now their running game is going to be hurt a whole bunch. So, I mean, they were already missing their top 2 running backs who were actual running backs, and now they're missing their best runner who isn't a running back, who's their quarterback. I mean, Gus Edwards is really going to have to do a lot of stuff to make this game even a competition. So I like Pittsburgh -7 for a unit. Also playing a 7-point teaser. I am taking Seattle, which moves them to +1.5. I'm taking the Giants, which moves them to +1. And I'm taking Miami and the Jets under 51.5. Interesting point about this game. With Fitzpatrick starting, I find it incredibly peculiar that the total didn't move from 44.5. It's surprising, when you say like, oh, well, Fitz isn't that much better than Tua, or isn't worse than Tua, or isn't better than Tua, or whatever. Even if you believe, that to be true, I think Tua is actually has better tools than Fitz. Fitz just has more experience. But the thing about Fitz is that when he's in the game, teams score more points on both sides. Fitz is prone to throw that bad pick six, but he also goes balls out and throws some incredible, makes some incredible plays, lead to touchdowns for his own team. So, I mean, it's crazy that I say that and now I talk about this. I locked this in before when I thought Tua was going to start. I still think that getting to 52 points is going to be incredibly hard for the Jets and the Jets in Miami, simply because, Miami still has tons of running issues. Gaskin won't be back. Obviously, there's no Tua. Preston Williams is still out. So if you've got Mike Gesicki in fantasy, I would definitely start him because Fitzpatrick will be using him for sure. Devontae Parker seems like a lock to do a bunch of stuff. Fitzpatrick never really used Jakeem Grant, so I'm interested to see if he tries to use him this week. Also interested to see if they do anything with Antonio Callaway. The guy's got just dirty speed. He's just a nut job of a human being. So, anywho, my 7-point teaser for 2 units is Seattle +1.5, the Giants +1, and Miami Jets under 51.5. Guys, as always, follow me on Twitter at CPT_handsome. I give out way more winners on Twitter than I do on here, apparently, because my Twitter is up, I think, 31.25 or 31.26 units on the year, and my in-game or my video plays are only up 2.02 units. So obviously I do a better job betting in game and making decisions right before a game and things like that. Also, guys, as I say all the time, I hope you're being smart. Don't gamble with money you can't afford to lose. This is just supposed to be for fun. So, you can still have fun betting a couple of bucks. You don't need to be a baller. I certainly am not a baller compared to most of the people you see on here. I just do this for fun. and I like to talk about football. So make sure that you two are being responsible. Otherwise, I hope you all had a great U.S. Thanksgiving, or as half of you call it, Thanksgiving. And I hope you're all winners tomorrow. Thank you, friends.